Hello there. Welcome back to VCS Connect. I'm your host. I'm Devpa. And hey, you know what just launched today? This guy did. Gravitar Recharged. Uh, Gravitar Recharged is a remake of the 1982 arcade cabinet of called Gravitar. And it was originally a game that was a conversion kit for the Black Widow cabinets. So, arcade owners could, if they had a Black Widow game, they could call Atari and get a conversion kit with, new artwork and new control panel and a little bit of different wiring harnesses and convert a Black Widow cabinet into a Gravitar cabinet. Or, of course, they could always buy a new one. And so this is the first remake of Gravatar since the port, the Atari 2600 port of Gravatar. But, ever since then, so you had the arcade cabinet and then you had the 2600 version of it, which happened around 83, maybe 84. We haven't seen a remake, although it was a spiritual recreation of Gravatar called Thrust, but that wasn't part of Atari, so it wasn't an official sequel or an official Gravatar. But there was something out there called Thrust that was based off of Gravatar. But we haven't seen a remake until now, until Gravatar Recharged. Gravatar Recharged really kind of breaks away from the past Recharge games where the Centipede and Black Widow and Asteroids, they all had this kind of neon line, almost vector artwork style. This takes a break from that and has a very interesting, very mesmerizing art style. So I'm gonna stop yammering around right now, and we're gonna jump in and take a look at the game. All right, so we're going to go into Gravatar, and my preferred controller is going to be the classic joystick. With the paddle function of the classic joystick, it makes, in my opinion, it makes the game extremely fun. And as you can see, well, I'm in the way here. There's missions, achievements. I'm kind of blocking. Well, there's arcade missions. You get the achievements. There's settings and credits and quit. I'm blocking that, but that's not important. We're just going to play a little bit of arcade right now, just a straight up Gravatar experience. All right, and here you can see here you can increase the difficulty of the game by also gaining more points. So default, you have 3 lives. There are power-ups that are scattered throughout each maps, and you have a shield. Therefore, you can take 1 hit from most damage, not everything. Massive explosions from like the space mine or your fuel cells that you can gather through the game. If they explode and you're caught in that explosion, you're instantly killed whether you have shields or not. There's only 1 power-up called Overload that makes you invulnerable to impacts and things like that. That overload power-up is the only thing that protects you from being inside one of those explosions. Okay, so you can choose to turn off, single, you just have a single life, and you would get 2.5% more points for having a single life or no power-ups, or so you can make it really difficult and get 7.5% more point value by turning everything on: single life, no power-ups, and no shields. All right, but I'm gonna wuss out, and I'm just gonna play straight up with lives, and I collided into the sun. So there you go, my first death. I don't know why I wasn't prepared for this. So we'll go into this. This planet here is the reactor planet, and we've got a flyer, and this is very familiar to, very similar to the original arcade, where you had to go through this kind of windy, corkscrew little map and destroy a reactor, and then escape, get out after within a certain time frame. Same thing applies here. So I gotta kind of screw my way around here. Ooh, 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 ooh. And you can see, And this has got a medium gravity. I'm gonna leave that energy pod there for a little bit later. Whoa, and this guy's gonna hit me, and I collided, and if I get hit next, I almost crashed again. So right now I don't have shields, it just came back on. But if I get hit by anything, collision or an explosion or a bullet, I would be dead. Oh. Calm. Serenity now. Okay, shields back up. I'm gonna get that other. Scooch on in here. Alright. Oh, he's stuck. What is this? What the hell is this? There we go. And getting all your power-ups and things is more points as well. So it never, even though I have another fuel barrel here, I'm going to go for the points. Even though I don't need the fuel. And I got 15 seconds to get out of the planet. There we go. Huzzah. Now I find my next one. So each star system has 6 planets, although they're not all planets. You know, there's a spaceship. There is an asteroid field. There is a ringed planet, which we're on now. There's I call it a Jupiter-like planet. All right, I'm gonna take this power up. And ooh, this is the railgun. I gotta fire this guy off soon. Railgun's pretty cool. That you sit and hover, and you just have this massive blast that nothing can withstand. So it's kind of fun. All right, I'm activating beacons by being in the radius of the beacon and staying there until it whatever charges up or activates. So I'm staying in this. You can barely see it. It's a little light field radius, and then it grows darker as you activate it. Now that I'm activated, I can leave the planet, but I'm going to grab stuff. Now, you can see right above there, the leave the planet, the goal of the mission, my fuel score. So every time I'm thrusting, I'm using up fuel. And the heavier gravity maps will require you to thrust a lot more. Okay, this is an asteroid field. This is a map that has practically no gravity, just slight pulls. So I call it a no gravity map, if there's an official name for that. Now, one thing you've got to be careful with is that your bullets just keep flying until they hit something or go off the map. So sometimes just firing blindly, you will hit something you may not want to hit, like a fuel pod. Now, in this first round, each map has 1 fuel pod, and you burn through fuel quite a bit. Oh, look at that nice shot. That was a beautiful shot. So you got to be careful. You will need to really conserve your fuel. Oh, mine, it's up there. Okay, so I'm going to go around and just kill the rest of the enemies and then grab that fuel pod. One of the things that I've come to learn to do is try to conserve and grab the fuel pod as the last thing I do on the map. And that way I exit and go into the star system map with full fuel. Because nothing's worse than being low on fuel. Because if you run out of fuel, you blow up. You blow up when you're on a map. All right, so I've got destroyed all the enemies. I can leave the planet, and I've got full fuel. I'm a happy camper. And you get a little side game of playing asteroids too. You can destroy some asteroids for a few points. They don't gather a lot of points, but you know what? If they're there, destroy them. It's a few extra points to build up that higher score. All right, and I always try to fly in the opposite direction of the gravity of the orbits. All right, this is like the Jupiter-like planet. And there's land above and below. This is where you got to be really careful because you don't know. I got to thrust. I got to fight the gravity. This map has medium strength gravity. If you don't pay attention, you'll get pulled to the ground. So there's ground below and there's ground above. You're basically in a cave planet. All right, so there's my 1 tank of fuel. I will come back for it. Activate these 2 beacons. Now, one thing, the fuel pods will blow up if a bullet or something hits it, and it doesn't matter if it's your bullet or the enemy's bullets. So you gotta be careful. You gotta make sure you get out of the line of fire with that fuel pod, otherwise you'll lose a fuel pod. And in this first round, you get 1 per map, typically. This escape pod for the points. There we go. Now let's activate that beacon. That's the last beacon I need. And then we'll go grab that fuel pod and then exit the planet. Ding! And then have full fuel. And go on to the next. You know what? I'm also going to grab this weapon thing for the points. I don't need it, but there's spread shot. Alright, got full fuel. Let's get the heck out of here. There we go. Alright, we'll go to the spaceship. This is another no gravity map. Ooh, there were 2 turns over there. Hello. And just to demonstrate, during these missions, I can fly off the map by accident, right? Son of a... so you can fly off the map, but you can fly back. But what's important is that your progress has been saved, right? So the enemies I destroyed still remain destroyed. So that's a nice thing. It's like leaving the map doesn't mean that you lose your progress that you have done. Ooh, lucky shot! I got the. Oh, here's a. Gotta make sure that he doesn't shoot my fuel pod. No, come back! And you can also fling things into space. Ah, I crashed. Okay, all right. Don't hit the wall again. Use my gravity well to pull the stuff in. You can. For the items that are teal, you can either just collide with them and they get absorbed into you, or you can use your gravity well or tractor beam. I like to call it the gravity well, to draw them in. More precise flying here. Precise shooting, apparently. Be careful here. Okay, alright, time to get out. We'll just grab this fuel pod and have as much close to it. Okay, my cats are destroying things. And off I go. Alright, I just have one more, quote-unquote planet to deal with. I'm trying to remember what I haven't done yet. Oh, the heavy gravity. So this next one, it's the planetoid or something like that. This one has the most extreme gravity of all the maps. It sucks. You're constantly fighting the pull, and the closer you get to the land, the stronger the pull gets. Just like real gravity. Like circumnavigating the whole star system. Woo! There it is. There it is. Okay. So it's a small, typically, at least in the beginning here, it's a small. But see, I'm not moving, and you can see how it's drawing me in really quickly. So the closer you are to the land, to the black landmass, the stronger the gravity pull is. So you're constantly... Okay. Back it up. Try not to destroy any fuel pods around there. I haven't seen it yet, so I just gotta be careful. And I'm gonna fling that into space. Come on. Oh, and I flung it into space. So my power-up just went flying into space, and I've just lost that power-up. Good on me. Good on me. And I was in... Ah! I was in the... but I had already disabled the... I had enabled all the beacons, so that map was done, even though I got destroyed. And now I moved on to the second solar system. To the second star system. So that's the game in a nutshell, all right, for the standard arcade. All right, so now we're going to take a quick look at missions real quickly. And I've unlocked quite a few of them. And it's very much just like it takes different map segments throughout the four, in the arcade version, in the arcade section of the game, there are four star systems that you go through. And these are just like snippets of some of those maps from various systems. So let's just take a real quick look here. Let's see pod race. I can't remember which one that is. Oh, heavy gravity world. We got missile launchers. We're bound to have shield generators. All right, so the goal is just to reach a certain point value. Ooh. Oh, I almost destroyed my... All right, so you can see some of the enemies with a red shield on there. So those are the shield generators. Gotta go! There you go. So it's a one life and done. It's basically the challenge. They just renamed as missions. Let's try that one more time. Let's try that one more time. Little redemption. They always... it's a mission, so unlike the arcade setting, which has some randomization of where some items are on a particular map, while every map and the levels, the layout of the map is the same, where enemies are placed are different. This being a mission, that is not the case. They're always laid out in the same way. And there is the button. Oh, and I missed it, and I blew up. So there you go. I am doing quite a hard one. But yeah, that's these are missions, and so you can just go around and, as you start out, you have I think like 2 missions unlocked, and each mission that you do unlocks more missions as you progress along. Yeah, so these are the missions. So there you go. There's some gameplay of Gravitar Recharged. You saw the first star system, the beginner star system, and a couple, one mission, but you saw a large variety of missions that are available. They used to be called challenges. Now they're called missions in Gravitar Recharged. It's fantastic. I had trepidations going into this because I didn't like the original Gravatar. The original Gravatar was always known for how difficult it was, and so I was like, oh, geez, here we go, nightmares of Gravatar old. But it's not. I mean, it is hard as you progress in star systems. It gets harder and harder, no doubt about it. But there's also a little bit of forgiveness, and what's really nice is that there's a variety of variety of maps that require different skills. Where the spaceship and the reactor planet, you have some tunnel flying and you have some precise flying that you have to deal with, right? But you have the ring planet and the cave planet, and that's a lot more open space. But it's just as challenging because you can't see what's going on, and your blast can errantly hit a fuel pod or something. So there's a nice variety of things that are going on, and in each star system, the maps get bigger and more complex and more enemies, and it's great. It really is laid out really well. So all my fears of the arcade Gravatar this is a much more playable and much more fairly forgiving game. And certainly you can make it more challenging by turning on or off, multiple lives, or turning off, the power-ups and all that. So you can make it even more challenging than the base default is. So that makes it great. And then multiplayer is fantastic too. Both ships are kind of tied by a gravity tether, and so if one ship flies to the left, the other one feels that pull, and you can't go too far away. So you really have to work together, and it really makes these maps really challenging as a duo. So I highly recommend doing multiplayer. If you got a friend or a loved one, bring them over and have them play. I would probably say this is the best of the Recharge series. And it's one of the strongest games on the VCS. There's also a couple other games that's not Gravitar Recharge that have a similar play style. Thrustlander comes to mind, and Gun Tech 2, both fantastic games, but they play slightly differently. So if you have Thrustlander, which I highly recommend getting, and same thing with Gun Tech, and you're like, well, I don't want to get another game that has, it's a gravity flyer game. They play differently between all three of them. That all three of them are worth getting because they have a similar gravity mechanic that's central to a lot of the gameplay in there. They play differently, and there's just a lot of variety there. So easily the best of the Recharge series. I probably would give it like a 4.5 out of 5 stars myself. I've been playing the heck out of it. I have to admit that. I've been playing the heck out of it, and I think you guys will enjoy it too. So it's out now on the Atari VCS. Other platforms coming out a little bit later. We get a little bit of an early release for that, so that's pretty friggin' awesome. But you know what? Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. What did you think of the gameplay? Are you planning on getting this for the Atari VCS or for other platforms? And hey, if you haven't already, it would be really great if you could hit the like, and if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe. That really helps us out and allows us to eventually get into the almighty YouTube algorithm. So until next time, watch out for gravity. Don't let it get you down, and I'll be seeing you soon.